Hey everyone, welcome to Myth Talk. This week's Myth Talk is episode number 35. Last week I did have a little bit mix up on the Tumblr, or the picture that you see on YouTube, so I just wanted to clear that out real quick. Because I said it was 31, but it actually is 35. This one is 35, but last week's was 34. So let's get into it with this week's, which is pixies. Pixie is also sometimes known for being spelled multiple different ways, and also sometimes known as Cornwall, is a mythical creature of folklore. Pixies are considered to be particularly concentrated in the high moorland areas around Devon and Cornwall, suggesting some Celtic origin of the belief and name. Akin to the Irish and Scottish AOC, pixies are believed to inhabit ancient underground ancestor sites such as stone circles, barrows, dolmens, ring forts, and menhirs. In traditional regional lore, pixies are generally bending, mischievous, short or statue, and attractively childlike, and are fond of dancing and gather outdoors in huge numbers to dance and sometimes wrestle. Through the night, demonstrating parallels with the Cornish Plyn and Gawari and Breton Fest-Noz. Folk celebrates originally in the medieval period. In modern times they are used depicted with pointed ears and often wearing a green outfit and pointed hat, although traditional stories describe them as wearing upwards. Describe their eyes are being pointed upwards and at the temple ends. These, however, are Victorian era conventions and not part of the older mythology. In modern use, the term can be symbolized with fairies or spirits. However, in folklore there is a traditional enmity or even war between the two races. So, in other words, they don't get along with actual fairies. And there's an actual old tradition called Pixie Day, which takes place annually in East Devon town of Monterey St. Mary in June. The day culminates a legend of pixies being banished from the town to local caves known as the Pixie Parkour. The Pixie Day legend originates from the early days of Christianity, when a local bishop decided to build a church in Monterey St. Mary and commissioned to set off the bells to come from Wales and to be escorted by monks on their journey. Upon hearing this, the pixies were worried, and as they knew that once the bells were installed it would be the death knell of the rule over the land, so they cast a spell over the monks to redirect them from the road to Ottery on the road, leading them to the cliff edge at Sidmouth. Just as the monks were about to fall over the cliff, one of the monks stubbed his toe on the rock and said, "God bless my soul," and the spell was broken. The spells were then brought to Ottery and installed. However, the pixie spell was not completely broken. Each day on the day in June, the pixies came out and captured the town's bell ringers and imprisoned them in the Pixies Parkour, to be rescued by the victor of Ottery St. Mary. This legend is reenacted each year by the Cub and Brownie groups of Ottery St. Mary with a special construction Pixies parkour in the town square. In modern fiction, there are several characters from the Marvel Comics universe that have been called Pixie. The elf Puck from the Japanese comic Berserker is stated in a late chapter to be a pixie. In Disney's film Peter Pan and Tinker Bell is described as a pixie, although in J.M. Barrie's play on which the film is based, she's actually a fairy. In the Disney variations, however, she always uses pixie dust rather than fairy dust in the play. In Barrie's original play, Tinker Bell is traditionally staged just as a flying point of light beaming off from off stage. Disney continues to use the terms pixie and fairy interchangeable for Tinker Bell and associates spin-offs. In literature, there's many different literatures that include pixies. However, in television, if you're looking for a good reference, in Fairy Odd Parents animated television show, pixies are reoccurring villains who wear gray suits and speak in monologue voices, wearing pointy hats, and unlike the fairies, treat magic like business instead of wands. They carry cell phones, and this is due to being named after pixels. The head pixie, HP for short, and the other male pixies are all voiced by Ben Stein. The female pixies are not seen. Alright, so with that said, we are done with this week's Myth Talk. This week's Myth Talk was again on pixies. Some people get pixies and fairies mixed up, but we will kind of talk a little bit about that in this episode of Myth Talk, but next week we will dive more into it because next week's Myth Talk will be on fairies. So, have a great day, peace, and thank you guys for watching.